You at least have a stable job and you have a boyfriend, but I have none, guys.
Oh my god, we are turning 30 now. I'm shit scared. We are the rule breakers, I will say. We had to run so the Gen Zs could walk.
I feel so behind in life.
Hi guys. So, welcome back to We Got This. And today we have our second episode and we're going to talk about millennial career struggles. So, we both, as you might know, are in our late 20s and we really wanted to talk about what we're going through career wise.
You are a good host.
This is the first time I'm doing it. So I am a lawyer. Professionally, I'm working at a corporate and I review contracts for a living. And I have I've been working for more than 6 years now. So yep, that's what I do. What about you, Isha?
I worked as a consultant and I quit my job around 2 years ago. And now I am an artist and I've started my own art and stationery business. And I also make content on Instagram. And I've recently started posting on YouTube.
Your CV is much
My CV
better
is
than mine.
my CV is like the complete opposite of all expectations.
But that's what you
By
want. I want my CV like that. I don't want to have a CV first of all, which is something that you were already like experiencing. So growing up, did you ever feel that you want to be a specific person by 30? Did you have a game plan?
I mean, not just in terms of career, in terms of everything. Like, I wanted to be completely financially independent by the time I turned 30. I wanted to get married. I wanted to have kids. Probably own a house, a car. I honestly have none right now. You
Yeah.
at least have a stable job and you have a boyfriend, but I have none,
Oh my
guys.
god. This is
I'm just going to put it out there.
okay. You want
And
to put it
Rishta,
out there.
no, I'm okay, guys.
We all have this pressure that we are turning 30 now. I'm shit scared. I mean, I this is the thought that I have every day that in a couple of years I'll be crossing that 30. But a lot of people who have turned 30 on Instagram, I've always seen that it's not a big of a change. Actually, your life becomes even simpler, and a lot of people stop expecting things from you. It's just a point where you can just let go. For me, growing up, I never thought that I'll have a job. I always thought that my life will be very hunky dory. I never thought of labor. I'll be
Oh,
working my
yeah.
ass off at a company and getting my paycheck month to month. That was never a dream for me. That's what I'm doing. But the things that you said, I wanted all of that by 25 only.
It's
Having
actually true. Yeah.
Huh. Like when I was in college, I was like early 20s and I thought, I'm gonna make so much money. My
Hmm.
25 was like my 30 at that time. My 25, I was like, I wanna not get married, at least in my career. I will say that I wanted to be at a certain place in an organization. I did not think about having to do all the work that we need to do to get to that level. That never crosses our minds. I think we have to really give in to get to that level. At least in corporate culture, there's a lot that goes behind getting a promotion, not only your hard work.
So while growing up, I wanted to become a doctor because my dad is a doctor. And I come from not a job background, I come from a little family business background. So even while growing up, I always had this thing that I want to do something of my own and never like work 9 to 5 and build someone else's dream. I went into the traditional path of like engineering, doing my MBA, and then working as a consultant at one of the big fours. And I just wasn't like, it didn't make me happy. I think it was a very straight traditional path that the society had put onto us.
Millennials, I think, are the first generation to at least try to break that. Not everybody, but
Yeah,
most. I think we are the rule breakers, I will say. But
the
generation before us, they have spent their lives working hard and
working hard.
thinking that hard work will get them happiness. But we were the ones to, I think, kind of figure out that that's not working for us, or that's not something that we want out of our
Hmm.
lives. There are better things out there apart from having a successful career. There's more to life than that.
Yeah, I think we saw our parents like constantly struggle and like that parent generation constantly struggle with their jobs and live from paycheck to paycheck.
I mean, they're definitely getting the gains, I will say.
Definitely.
I mean, like, they have whatever they wanted, but we were the ones, like, to figure out that that's not what we want. Even if we, like, earn a little less, but we want the work life balance, or we want to pursue a hobby, or we want to work on our fitness more than our career. That's something, you know?
That's actually you.
Yeah,
You want to
yes.
work on your fitness more than I think career.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not? I mean,
Yeah.
career is not something that I'm so passionate about that, that
Hmm.
I will leave out everything else.
Do you realize that every creator or every entrepreneur out there, they're all millennials? I think 80 to 90% of them are like engineers
Yeah, I
who quit
know.
their jobs or who quit
Exactly.
engineering, who are IITians.
I know, I know,
They're all millennials.
I know.
It's like our
All millennials.
generation wants to be a rule breaker.
Yeah, but I don't know
I'm one
why.
of them.
Yes. But do you think that Gen Zs take a lot of credit for it?
Yes.
But that's not true,
Gen
guys.
Zs are getting the fruit. Like it's like
Yeah,
we planted the
yeah.
seed.
We had to run so the Gen Zs could walk. That's the catchphrase.
Gen Zs are going to kill us.
But we are zillennials, Isha.
What
So
is
we
a
are a
zillennial?
I've done a lot of research, okay, because a few of my characteristics are from Gen Z and few of my characteristics are from millennials. So
Yeah.
millennials, they work hard, they put work first, and Gen Zs, they don't put work first, but they put other things like work-life balance first.
Hmm.
So I think in that term, I am more of a Gen Z person, and people who identify with both the generations and are born between 95 to 2000, they're called zillennials because we did not.
So we are all actually zillennials.
Yes, yes. Kids today, they have access to everything and like all kinds of social media, but that was not the case. We also had human interactions. So we connect to both the generations.
I feel nice that I have little Gen Z in me. I love Gen
Out
Zs.
of
They have guts, dude.
exactly.
I wish I had the guts to tell my parents that I want to be an artist when I was a teenager. I didn't have the guts.
I think they decide and they go for it, dude, because they see a lot of people online who are making a living out of these things and being unabashedly themselves and enjoying it, and Gen Zs are just going for it, and they don't see a downside because they do see a downside of going to college and not getting a job. A lot of people are suffering, and Gen Zs can see
Hmm.
that, right? They're in college, if, for example, they see that their seniors are still unemployed. Then unemployment rate is so much after having two masters abroad. A lot of people are struggling. So why would they choose that path for themselves? Do you feel behind compared to your peers, or we all just confused together?
All the time. I mean, if you look at my career path right now, I feel so behind in life because I mean, I had a stable job, but I chose to quit that job. People around me, all my friends, they are now getting promoted. They're now getting insane hikes at their corporate job, and I am literally starting from scratch.
But would you choose their lives? No, because
No, exactly.
yeah,
Because I was there. I was
hmm,
living that life,
yeah,
but I was not happy. It was like a set path which made me feel very miserable. I chose to quit that, so I need to embrace it.
yeah. I mean, you have made a decision that a lot of people take so much time to do for their entire lives. I have seen people who have such great ideas, or even, but they never take that step. Nobody really executes this. So I think you should give yourself a lot of credit for that.
Thank you. It took me a really long time though.
Yeah.
I mean, I quit without any plan.
Mm.
It was just that I wanted to take some time off and do some exploring and figure out what I wanted to do. I was actually applying for a lot of other jobs,
Yeah, yeah.
but then nothing made me like feel like I should apply, or I
Mm.
got calls and the job description felt so horrible, and I was like, I don't want to go there
Yeah.
again. I mean, it will be the same kind of life and the same kind of lifestyle. So
Mm.
I was like, right now at this point, I don't have any responsibilities. Like, I don't have any debt on my head. I am not married, so I
Mm.
can do what I want to do, and I feel very privileged to say this.
Yeah. And a lot of credit goes to our parents.
A lot,
Like,
a lot.
I have seen a lot of people also who cannot let go of their jobs even if they wanted to. they're just riddled with responsibilities. Like they have their parents to take care of, they have kids, maybe they're married.
Financial responsibility is the topmost. That's I think the sole reason why people work. I
Yeah,
mean, why people work in corporates
and why
and
people are unable to pursue their
their
dreams.
dreams. Yeah.
Some people dream of climbing the corporate ladder, but people who don't want that in their lives, they if they have financial responsibility, but then they can't leave their jobs, right?
But I have friends who are like, since teenagers, they were like, I want to be a CEO of
Yeah,
this company.
yeah.
And I was like, am I missing something? Like, why do I not want to be a CEO of another company? Like, I would rather be founder of my own company,
Exactly.
even though
Yes.
I'll go in loss, but it will make me really happy that I'm building something of my own. Okay, if you want to be a CEO, you can be a CEO. I mean, as long as it makes you happy or it makes anyone happy,
Yeah, yeah.
it's fine.
Do I feel behind? Yes, I will say definitely I do. Even though I'm a very realistic person and I know my place, or how successful I am, or what I'm doing in my industry with respect to the industry standards. But still, when you see the people you graduated with, or the people you went to college with, they doing really well, even though you yourself are doing great. Okay, it's not like I'm doing bad, or
Hmm.
any of that sort. But when you see that post on LinkedIn, I don't know, it just feels a little, it's a very bad feeling. I mean, I'm not very proud of it, but I do feel jealous. There's nothing to be jealous about, although, but that has been imbibed in our system so much that you always feel that, not that you switch your lives with them or want to be them, not at all. It's just some feeling that we're not proud of, or nobody wants that feeling, but we all have it, right?
Yeah. That was the sole reason I did not go on LinkedIn for almost 2 years. Like,
Hmm.
once I quit my job, I literally quit LinkedIn because I didn't want to look at anyone's updates, people switching their jobs and getting hikes and getting promotions. I felt so horrible comparing myself, but then I had to put it in my brain that I made this decision, right? I could
Yes.
have done that, but I can't just sit and look at things and constantly compare myself. Then I'm just going to feel bad about my own life. So
Correct.
I open LinkedIn right now and I don't feel bad anymore. I mean, I'm happy for them now that they
Yeah.
are doing great in life. I'm doing great in life. I'm doing what I have always wanted to do. So I've just realized that everyone is on their own path.
Path. And you realize this as you grow old only.
Yeah,
If you're in college, or you just started out with your job, the feeling is going to be
horrible.
too much. Like it'll be intensified. Like you will be constantly checking up on other people's things, so who has got placed. That feeling has definitely like alleviated, I will say. It
Yep.
has lessened,
The time you reach 28, 29, you're not going to feel that anymore, by the way.
and it's a bliss.
It's it's so peaceful.
Yes.
It's like everyone is doing their own shit.
Yeah.
I'm doing my own shit and I'm just so happy.
Yeah, because
It's like
true.
I don't find that stressful anymore. So a few friends of mine who are now 30,
Hmm.
when they turned 30, they were like, it's a huge relief because they don't have that 20s wala expectations anymore. And then I realized that it is such a mind thing. है ना? It's such a societal and mind thing. Like, the moment you turn 30, or like now that you are in your 30s, no one expects anything from you, which is a bliss, by the way.
Yes.
I don't want people to expect anything from me. Let me just do my thing.
Yeah. But do you remember, like, when
But
we were kids,
yeah,
the people who were in their 30s, that image is there in our heads.
exactly.
Because those people had everything together in their 30s. They had their lives together.
Dude, our parents, when they were 30, they had their career together, they had money, they probably started buying houses.
Houses. They had money for a kid.
Oh, they had money for kids. I don't
Yes.
have money for myself.
And that's where the anxiety comes from. Our
Yeah, yeah.
generation is crippled, I think. The career pressure, first of all. I mean, I know how much I'm earning, and I know people my age are earning on and off average the same, except for some people who are actually making a really good amount of money. But the amount of money that I am making, I have a good reason to be anxious to have kids. I cannot do that. I mean, I cannot even think about it right now. If there's a kid with me, I'm doomed. forget about the other emotional things that come into it, but solely financially.
Oh, I am doomed already. I'm not even like completely financially stable to even get married at this age.
And to think that a
I
lot of
know.
our peers are married with kids.
Yes.
They're
It's
doing
so
it.
stressful.
Okay,
I
okay,
feel
okay.
like this can be
No,
another
yeah.
podcast.
Let's
Like,
invite a married person our age with kids. Burnout culture and quiet quitting.
I feel like I was in the burnout hustle culture and then I did quiet quitting.
Yes.
I never complained about my job. No one had an idea in my team that she wanted to like quit her job.
What is your first real burnout moment?
How do you define burnout?
Too much working, and expecting that you will get better pay or you will get a promotion, but those things are not promised to you explicitly. Those
Hmm.
things are in your head, and you
Hmm.
work really really hard, given put in hours that could go to your family or that could go to your health,
Exactly.
but you put in here because you expect things that were never promised to you. So I think that is burnout, and at the end of it you don't receive anything out of it. That's burnout.
I think I felt horribly burnt out when I had to go to office every day.
Mm.
My work time was 2 to 11.
Mm.
I would work for US clients. So it was like we used to have calls at night. But honestly, like for me, it was a burnout of the fact that I am not liking what I'm doing.
Hmm.
It
That's.
was never the fact that I was overworked.
Mhm.
Because first thing, I had an amazing team. I have heard so many people complain about their team and their manager and their
Mhm.
leader or project, but I honestly was so lucky
Mhm.
with my team, with the project that I had. We never felt burnt out. There are obviously times when you have no option,
Yes.
which is, I guess, okay.
And when your leads are very approachable or
Oh my
very
god, yes.
lenient with you, or they understand your situation, that helps a lot. Then the situation directly comes from burnout to a work life balance kind of thing, or
Hmm.
maybe it seems that way, maybe it is a burnout, but then at least you have a you have somebody to go to, at least, because
Yep.
there are a few identifiers of a burnout culture. I think one of them is your team members always thinking that you're not working enough. That's something that I have faced in one of my previous internship. It was not a full-time employment, but no matter what I did, there was a dynamic between us where the other person was my boss. He was not my colleague. I don't give a shit, like, if a colleague is telling me you're not working enough, obviously I'm not going to pay that much attention. But when my boss is telling me that you're not enough, as I mean, I am
Oh my
trying my best,
god.
yes, and I have had the worst experiences with bosses. Like, I had to quit. It had gotten to such a level that it was not overworking. Okay, it was not like रात को बैठो, you have to do work. It's like, ये क्या किया तुमने? It's like in that,
That's.
and the tone that you use, and
Hmm.
there is constructive criticism and there is outright being very indecent
Rude.
and rude. There are two things you have to understand. If you're a leader, you have to behave yourself. You have to really be cautious with the words that you're using, the tone that you're using, or the mood that you're setting with somebody you're a boss of. So you have to be very mindful. So that's also something that amounts to burnout. I did not have the energy to do any work because of the kind of environment that I was in. That was the only time that I felt burnt out. Otherwise, I was very passionate about what I used to do. It's gone down a little bit for sure. I mean, I
That's so
take
sad.
my yeah, I take my work as work and I just do it. I don't have any emotional attachment to it. So that's where I've gotten now. But back in the day, I used to really love what I do. So I never felt burnt out.
I'm so
Yes.
glad I had the most amazing team and the most amazing people to work with.
Mhm.
So it was not office problem, culture problem. It was me problem.
Yeah. It was.
It was like genuinely I did not like what I was doing.
Is quiet quitting really quitting or just fancy words for setting boundaries? A lot of people take quiet quitting, a lot of bosses take quiet quitting as not being proactive in their jobs, which is very similar. Quiet quitting means you do only your job and nothing more. If you don't have any emotional aspect to your job, then you can just do your job and you don't expect anything more from it.
The managers don't know what your expectations are.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, they don't have the regular checkups. They don't know what are your career goals
Exactly.
basically.
So when you're quiet quitting, you have no expectations from the company.
Hmm.
You just want to do the work and get paid. You
Yeah.
don't want feedback. You don't want to climb the corporate ladder. None of it you want. You just, this is a more of a Gen Z culture. So that's why a lot of hiring managers are afraid to hire Gen Zs these days, because they don't want to put in the extra work. Because when you're getting paid a certain amount, a lot of people expect you to do the job of more than that amount.
Is this quiet quitting? I always thought quiet quitting was like, ठीक है, I am like done with this now. मेरे से नहीं हो रहा है. So you don't
Ah,
really tell them कि what my like what your problem is, and then you just basically quit.
like later on you quit because
Yeah,
your
you just like
intention is
quit
to
and
quit. Employees fulfilling their job requirements, ceasing to go above and beyond, taking on extra responsibilities or working
oh
overtime.
my god. I
Yeah.
thought that I was like quiet quitting was like ठीक है छोड़ दिया time.
नहीं नहीं नहीं, quiet quitting is like,
Quitting. It's like you
yeah,
quietly quit.
actually that makes sense, but
I never
that's
googled this term. I just thought quiet quitting was like you just quietly quit because you are not because you're not
no.
happy with your job and you're not telling anyone about it. So that's why I said that
Hmm.
I think I
No, quiet quitting is when you don't have any
okay, yes.
emotional attachment to your job. It's just like a thing that you do. That's why a lot of people
Okay.
are afraid to hire Gen Zs, because they will only do what they are told. They will not put in extra effort. Our generation is the last generation, I think, that will not be doing quiet quitting. We put in a lot of work or effort to show that, we are very, I was here till 1 a.m. last
Oh
night.
yeah, that's
We
like a
drag
show
it.
off.
Yes, and we try to do that, but I think this should end here.
Yeah,
Quiet
please,
quitting is
please.
the future, for sure. Quit
Guys, now you know
quietly.
what quitting is.
Yeah.
Don't be like me.
Have you ever had an office bestie? People talk a lot about office
Work
friendships
bestie?
are like crazy good. If you quit, then I will also quit.
That doesn't work, by the way, guys.
I have done it actually.
Why would you quit if you're do you not want to like get the paycheck or do
Dude,
you not want to work? You quit because your friend quit?
it was a driving force for sure. 100%.
That happens.
Once it's happened that we got so close. We used to have so much fun in the office. It used to be only two of us, okay? And then she had to quit. And then I'm like, I can't stay here. I cannot stay. And then I also quit.
It's actually cute.
Yeah. But I was young then. I did not have to think about what's obviously,
Responsibilities,
yes, yes. But
job,
now,
money. अगर तेरे friend ने कूदा तो तू भी
huh,
कूदेगी. I had work besties actually. I don't think they quit because I quit.
nobody does that.
Nobody quit because
Nobody
I
does that.
quit.
These days the professionalism has increased a lot, I think, because of our positions in the organization also. Because at at that point when I quit my job,
Hmm.
I was at a very lower position in the organization. I could do that, but right now I have a lot of professional responsibilities, and that also affects the kind of relationships
Yeah.
I have with the people I work with.
It was okay when we were in our like early 20s or mid
Yeah,
20s.
yeah,
Now it's like we just want to go work,
yeah.
be professional,
Mhm.
not get involved into a lot of like office drama or
Yeah.
personal dramas or personal life, and just go back home and do our own shit.
Yeah, I mean, I want to have a non-office bestie who I can like just
Exactly,
rant
like
about.
non-office.
Yeah, generally, a lot of people think that, एक office में है तो we can be really good friends. Expectation from colleagues, right? Like, let's meet on Sunday also. I mean, I don't mind meeting my colleagues on a Sunday because I work from home. Like that, I
Oh
am okay with
yes, you are
meeting you
okay
on a
with.
Sunday if I'm not seeing your face on a daily basis. But what is this about, like meeting on a Sunday if you've seen everybody each day of the work week?
Exactly.
Like, don't you have lives at home?
Acha, do you know this thing that a lot of people abroad are coming back to India?
Yeah,
Like the people who
this
went
is a
to do their masters first thing because there are no jobs available. The job market even in India and in general is just horrible.
and this
uh,
is a phenomenon that's happening. It's not just like a couple of people that are coming back because they think it's become very lonely to live outside. It's not that, it's actually the job market. it's not the other components, but actually that they're unable to get a job that will give them a sponsorship, visa sponsorship. Also in India here, I mean, it's become such a thing, you know. I know so many people, and within a few seconds of me seeing a LinkedIn post of a job opening, there are thousands of applicants. And sometimes I mean, we just talked about how toxic our jobs can be, but then again, to have a job has
It's
become
a
a
big
privilege.
privilege.
Yes, I mean, we don't talk about that enough. A lot
That's
of
true.
people these days, you know, who are just coming out of colleges, who are starting to apply to jobs. I mean, there's a huge influx of students in the workforce. How our economy is going to adjust to so many people's employment, it's a huge question, because people who have 4 years of experience, 5 years of experience in the industry, they themselves are struggling to get a good paying job. It must be very difficult for them to come back and find a job here and start from the beginning, because
Exactly.
to start with no experience and having too many degrees, it becomes a thing of shame also for them. It's very personal to them, because while when they were going out, it was like, abhi to life, oh my god, life is going to
Change
be
away.
too good, and I'm gonna be successful, which everybody has a right to think, but it becomes a nightmare
A
very
lot of people
suddenly.
also come back because they have like businesses in India,
Yeah, yeah,
family
yeah,
business
yeah.
in India, or if they want to set up a business because it is easier to set up a business in India. Indian market is great.
Yes. But then again, starting from the beginning
Of
is a task.
course.
Yes. But if you have your parents to rely on, your parents' business you're gonna take forward, or you're gonna come back anyway in a few years, you were never
Huh.
planning to settle there, then that's a different situation. Do you think self-learning is replacing traditional education? Like a lot of people are opting for internet courses or certification courses, and they're
Hmm.
applying for jobs directly through that.
I think like the schooling part of education is important because
Yeah.
then it's just going to be an entire chaos.
Mm.
But definitely the system needs to change.
Yeah. Corporates and people, hiring managers should look at the talent and not your CV, like what college you've graduated from, or all of that. So the interview process needs to be more thorough than the CV selection process.
I mean, I did my MBA. It was not from a fancy college.
Yeah.
I did my MBA in hospital and healthcare management.
Hmm.
There are no jobs after MBA, by the way. I mean,
Hmm.
it's not, MBA is not that MBA anymore.
Hmm.
Unless you are in like top MBA colleges, like
Top B schools, they
full
are
B
also
schools, they are
struggling.
also struggling.
I
Yeah.
mean,
They are not getting the packages that they used
to
to.
get, and their placement rate is not 100%
Yeah.
these years. A couple of years it's not been 100%, even if you're a student of the top B school. Like the lower schools, lower B schools, they're not doing great in terms of placement. Second thing, people who do MBA na, they are hired by companies and they are pushed into doing anything but
Oh
management
my God,
things.
ask me.
Hmm.
I did my MBA thinking that I would like get into some kind of a managerial role
Yeah.
or like a admin role,
Yeah.
but I was doing a tech consulting job.
Hmm.
Even though I agree that to be a manager, you need to understand the back end of it.
Yeah.
Whatever you're managing, you need to understand the entire system. But I feel if you are doing an MBA, in my opinion, MBA was made for people who want to start their own business.
Yes,
It's
that
a
was the
business
original.
administration course, guys. It's not something that you want to get hired for.
And there are a lot of programs these days who say that, you know, if you want to get hired in a good company, this is not the course for you. Mm.
MBA is about learning skills and then later on applying those skills practically.
Yes.
And you'll be able to apply them if you are building something from scratch or if you're working in a startup,
Mm.
probably. Because
Yes.
startup mein to
Yes.
you have to do everything.
As women who are pursuing their careers and are highly educated, pursuing their careers, and want to get married, and want need to do all of these things together and be okay with it. What is your
It's
take on
like a
it?
pressure. It's like such a huge pressure to have a career to get married, to have kids, to manage the entire household. I mean, in India, तो शादी के बाद you usually stay with your partner or you
In-laws.
stay with your in-laws. So you also have to manage the entire household with your in-laws.
Yes.
It's such a huge pressure.
It is. I mean, it is unbelievable that uh, we are expected to have it all figured out, and then we haven't even covered, like, we haven't even touched the mom guilt, because having a career and being a mom and juggling those together, it must be, I mean, we are in no place to even have a slightest idea of how it must be feeling like. But I have seen my
Yeah, I've
coworkers,
seen my friends.
because you don't want to give up your career. I mean, you've worked as much as the other person, and just because you're a mom you have to compromise with your career. It must be soul sucking, I will say.
I think it is so important to have a good partner who would like understand the struggles that a woman has to go through.
And is respectful of your
Yeah.
career path, and who also is willing to give in the exact amount of time and effort as you are. That's the most important thing. I mean, I've seen women not being promoted, not being able to get good feedback, not being able to put in as much of time as their male counterparts, because they have other commitments at home. And these days a lot of people expect, most of them expect us to have a career also. Let's not talk about what we want from us, but what society expects us is, if you're not doing anything, that's also a point of judgment. Like,
Yeah, if you're doing
yeah,
something, oh,
yeah,
she's over ambitious.
yeah, yeah,
She doesn't want to have a family, she doesn't want
yeah.
to get married. But if you also don't want to like work,
That's
that's
also,
also a huge judgmental thing.
yeah.
Like just let people do their own thing, please.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm so sick of this.
exactly. And I saw this somewhere, who told women that you can do it all? This statement that women can do it all. Do we want to do it all? We
Do you want to
can.
do it all?
Oh God. See, I want to have kids someday. I want to have my career, but one is going to hamper the another, and I know it. And I know that it's not going to be the same for my husband.
I also want to do it all. I actually want to do it all. Like my thing is I aspire to be that woman who wakes up and who does the work she loves every
Yes,
day.
yes.
Like for me it is very important that I find meaning in my work. That was the main reason why I quit. I mean, I can't do something just because.
Yes,
I need to have that.
that's great.
I feel like I need to make some impact. Like I need
Mm-hmm.
to contribute something back to the world.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's great.
that's very important for me. But having a family is also important to
One,
me. Like
exactly.
I want to get married, I want to have kids. Technically,
Hmm.
I wanted to get married before I turn 30.
Yes.
There's also biological clock, which I am not going to talk
That's
about right
there's a
now.
whole big ass episode that we can cover about the biological clock.
How are we surviving? What are your career goals?
In my fantasy, my career goal, I'll tell you both, like realistic and in my fantasy career goal. So I'm a lawyer, right? So I like what I do. Not like I'm not very passionate about it, but I want to be like a legal head, or a legal CEO, strategist of a big company. And I'm on my way to do that and have work from home. Impossible, which is, and work from home and lead that area, and that's my career goal, and have a legal consultancy of my own.
So that's not fantasy. You can do that.
Both.
Yeah, why not?
So that's like a very far-fetched thing, at least that's
Believe
not.
in yourself.
Yes, that's how it
Believe in yourself,
seems.
guys. That's what I'm learning. To believe in your dreams.
Yeah, I don't think it could be a reality, so that's why I
Why
say
not be
exactly it's.
delusional? Look at me, guys, be delusional.
I cannot. I am so realistic. I mean, that also seems very big. Already, I am on a path. As a third person, one can expect that in my lifetime. Yes, it could happen, but I cannot do that. I'll think of it as something very far fetched. हाँ मैं और CEO. Oh my god, ये तो नहीं हो सकता.
What is wrong with you guys?
I am a realist.
I need to give a TED talk.
Yeah.
On believe in yourself.
Sanchit says the same thing. You and him are very similar, I think, in terms of believing in oneself, dreaming and then executing it and having a plan. But I think I'm very different. I'm very like overthinker.
Do you know this combination of dreamer and
Yeah.
realist
Yeah.
from Modern Family? So you are the
Yes.
realist, he's the dreamer.
Yes. Yeah.
I am the dreamer. I have a feeling. No, I think I was always a dreamer,
Hmm.
but then life just put like
Hmm.
stupid shit on my head. But I was always a dreamer, so I think
Hmm.
I need to find a realist.
Oh yes. Yes. You need a
That's like a
realist in
good
your life.
combination because I'm very delusional. So I want to like grow my art and stationery business. I right now it's on my name, but I want to make it like a brand. So like give it a brand name, and not just have stationery products. I want to expand later into like lifestyle products,
Hmm.
and then I also want to like make my own paintings and sell them.
Yeah.
Like go to these exhibitions and sell my paintings. How delusional am I?
No, I love how specific you are. And I
Oh my
love,
god.
I mean, the kind of brand that you're building. I think this is definitely doable in the next 5 years. For sure, dude. And the pace that you're going by, I think this is definitely happening in the next five
I
years.
hope so.
Yeah.
I need to believe in myself.
Yes. Yes.
Keep
And I've seen
believing.
your products, dude. Like,
Ah,
yeah.
thank you.
Brought to you by Nisha Tigayat.
I have one more
Yes.
career goal. I've always loved YouTube videos since I was like a teenager. When I was in my college, I would tell my like roommates that I have these
Hmm.
YouTube best friends.
Mhm.
And then I now see these YouTubers earning insane amount of money through content creation and through YouTube. So Instagram doesn't pay you
Mhm.
unless it's like brands, but
Mhm.
it doesn't give you anything for views or subscribers. But YouTube will pay you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's like my other thing. It's a very new thing. I don't want to make it a very monetized thing because currently I'm enjoying recording videos and just
Hmm.
making small
Yeah.
small daily vlogs. So that hopefully when I'm like 80-year old I can look back and hopefully someone else watching will also get inspired by my art journey.
Hmm.
Hopefully I reach there.
Yeah, we are heading towards the end of our episode, and to whoever may be watching, what do you want to say to them? So,
Thank you for watching.
yeah, thanks for watching. And if you've come this far, a message that you can go with. Don't take too much pressure and don't be too much hard on yourself. We are all suffering through that. We always criticize ourselves the most, and we always hold ourselves by the society's expectations. Stop doing that. As you grow old, I think you will stop doing that. But if you're anxious about it, anxious about your career and I mean the age that we're in and the career path that you've chosen, just remember that everybody is in their own path and everybody is on their own pace. So it's fine.
Yeah, let's not compare. Let's just try to focus on our own, like on our life. And no one has it all figured it out. By
Yeah.
the way, no one
Yes.
in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I mean,
Yeah.
people in their 60s are still trying to build a business,
And that's
build
the best
something,
thing.
and that is so cute. Like, I see people making videos on YouTube
I know. And
in
it's
their
so
60s.
inspiring.
It is so inspiring that they're starting something in their 50s, 60s. So,
Mm.
honestly, no one has it all figured out.
Mm.
That's life. I mean, if you had it all figured out, what is the point of life?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what will
And
you do then?
yeah. And the last thing is you got this. So bye. Let's get chai.